Hey, good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. This is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, where I help you to build unshakable confidence, stop stagnating, and to get your dreams out of your head into your life. Good morning. I am super excited. I stay excited because God is so good and He is really worthy to be praised no matter what the situation is. And what I've learned, you have to just go with the flow. You have to go with the flow. You shouldn't allow nothing and nobody to stop the flow from running in your life. You have to go with the flow. You have to go with the flow. So I am just truly grateful. Don't let nothing hinder you. Don't let nobody hinder you. And so I'm just truly grateful for who God is, what He is doing. You know, you're gonna have all different sorts of types of things that will be going on. You're gonna have, things that are gonna be going on. But I love the quote from good morning Toshiba, good morning Shanti, good morning Robert, thank you so much for joining. I love the quote from Charles Swindoll. He says that, life is only 10% of what happens to us, and the other 90% is how we respond. It is only 10%. So why would we let the 10% of things that happen to us determine the 90% of how we're going to respond? I'm going to say that again. Charles Swindoll says that life is 10% of what happened to us, and the other 90% is how we respond. So that says to me, this is what that says to me, that no matter what happened, that I have more respond power than the thing had do power. I have more respond power than the thing had do power. So I don't have to allow the 10% of things that happen to me in my life to ruin the rest of my life. I still have 90%, and the other 90% is literally how I respond. Good morning, Linda. Thank you so much for joining. The other 90% is how I respond to the things that's happening. And so this morning, you see what the title of the live feed is. It says that, you really can. You can do anything if you believe. If you believe that you can do anything, there is really nothing and nobody stopping you. Nobody can stop you. Good morning, Miss Greer. Thank you so much for joining. Nobody can really stop you from doing what needs to be done. And I know we look at the economy. I know we look at people. I know we look at our environment. Some of us even say that the location that we're in, that we can't do anything, but we are not hindered by location. Good morning, Nikita. Thank you so much for joining. We should not be hindered by location. There is no real limits to what we can do. There is no real limits. Our limits are within our own minds. Our limits is within our own spirits. Our limits are placed within our own hearts. And I use a technique, good thing, bad thing. Good thing, bad thing. That you can take a bad thing and make a good thing out of it. You can take a bad thing and find the good thing in it. Because if you look back over situations that has happened in your life, hindsight, and you said, well, that wasn't a bad thing anyway. Sometimes even it can be something it can be a divorce. We thought that it was so bad when the divorce came, but all type of things happened to you. You couldn't meet your Boaz. You could not meet the man of your real dream if you were still messing with the one or had the one that you thought was your bae, your boo. Come on now, somebody, your lifetime partner. Come on. Good morning, Pat. Thank you so much for joining. So all the time, things that happen to us is not the end of the world, because hindsight behind those things that has happened, better things come. I always believe that when one door closes, that God has a better door open in front of me. I remember when I was discharged from a job back in 2006, and I didn't sweat it. I've been a faith walker even when I didn't have an opportunity to go to church the way I do now because of my work schedule. But I knew I had God here, and every opportunity that I had, I would go to church, but I worked on Saturdays and Sundays. And so I kept praying to God that I would have an opportunity to go to church on Sundays. And look, I was discharged from that job. So I did not take that as oh my God, I lost my job, they fired me, oh my God, I was supposed to be getting promoted. I looked at that as now an opportunity where I am off of work. I don't have to work on Sundays anymore. I can go to church. And then guess what? The job that God blessed me with, and first of all, God blessed me where I didn't have to buy gas for a whole year. I did not buy gas for my vehicle for a whole year. I didn't miss a beat. I didn't stop doing nothing. And then, good morning, Cynthia. Thank you so much for joining. Then the job that God blessed me with, the job that God blessed me with, it paid me 66% more than I was making. I was working Monday through Friday. I was off on Saturdays and Sunday. Come on now, somebody, listen. So I don't care if it's a loss of a job. And see, this is fresh in my mind because I'm writing this new book, and this is I'm giving you a little sneak peek of what I'm writing in the book. But anyway, it was fresh because this was what I wrote yesterday. Because I thought about it. That could have been a bad situation. That could have been bad. That could have been detrimental. That could have been that could have been a bad thing. I had lost my job. But I didn't say, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have been praying. I wanted to be off on Saturdays and Sundays so I could go to church. And by way of me being released on that job, because see, God knew I wasn't going to just quit. He knew I wasn't just going to stop going to work. And so we have to, sometimes when we pray, good morning, Phyllis, good morning, Sandra, thank you so much for joining. God, his answers, you could not beat that. Oh no, I couldn't beat that with a long stick. But see, sometimes God will answer our prayers in ways that we don't know. We don't understand everything that he's going to do. But see, sometimes we are praying for things, and when we get it, we questioning God, is that it? No, I ran with it. And guess what? I've been active in church ever since. And I was let go in 2006. I was in school. I kept going to school full time. And I've been active since 2007. And I mean going and going and going. But God answered my prayer. So I want you to look at and evaluate things in your life where you're thinking that it may be the worst thing that has happened to you in your whole entire life. But find the good in it. If somebody walk up out your life, find the good. If you got somebody that is no longer supporting you, find the good. Because see, everybody, you don't need, sometimes you hold on to people that you should be letting go. Sometimes you hold on to things that you should be letting go. So when they make the decision to walk up out your life, baby, let them go. Because see, they may be more of a problem to you than they are a blessing. So you got to look at you got to evaluate all situations in your life. Look at all situations. When that man walk up out your life, that may be the best thing that has happened. When that woman walk out your life, that best friend that you thought that you was gonna be with forever, that job, that business, it don't matter what it is. Don't spend so much time looking at the bad. Look at what's good out of it, because there have to be a equal and opposite of that thing that has happened. That's the way I look at it. So I'm writing on resiliency. I am a very resilient person because I can bounce back. I can go through some things and come back so fast that you don't even know I went through it. That's how good it is. So resilience you're not born with resilience, but resilience can be taught and it can be learned. I'm telling y'all part of my chapter, y'all. I'm telling you, and this thing is down in my spirit. My chapter is due on the 15th, and so I've been really, really writing, but I'm writing on resiliency. You got to have resiliency. You got to have resiliency. You got to be resilient so that anything that come against you, baby, that you can come back. Don't matter what it is. I don't care if it's a financial sting. I don't care if it's an emotional sting. I don't care if it's a relational sting. I don't care if it's a business thing. I don't care if it's a friend sting. I don't care if it's a boo sting. Baby, you got to be ready to bounce back when stuff come and try to hit you and try to knock you off your feet, discourage you. You got to bounce back. You got it in you. We gonna have to bounce back. Come on, let's say we gonna bounce back, baby. Yes. So you can do it. You can bounce back. You can do it. I know some of us, we think it's the end of the world when we get off work. We lose our job and we lose a source of income, or we feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Stop trying to figure out what you're going to do. He's already worked it out. When one door closed, another door open. When somebody walk out, somebody else is subject to be walking in. When you lose one thing, you can look for better things to come. But you got to start with the way you think. You got to start with the words you speak. You got to start with what you believe. If you believe that you can do it, you can. But see, if you're telling yourself it's not going to work, you're telling yourself it's not possible, you're telling yourself that you can't do it, guess what? I can balance back. I can bounce back. I can bounce back. I can bounce back. Yeah, bounce back. You got to make up in your mind that you want to do it. If you didn't already close the door and say, well, I can't do it, you didn't close your mind for creativity. You didn't close your mind for opportunity. I always ask myself, how can I make this happen? How can I do this? How can I make this thing work? I don't tell myself, well, this ain't gonna work, this not gonna happen. It is gonna happen. It's gonna happen because I believe it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because he said it was gonna happen. So how many of you have given up on your dream? How many of you have given up on your desires? How many of you have given up on yourselves? You gotta be creative. You got to be creative, and you gotta figure it out. It is easy to give up. It's easy to quit. Do you know it is easier to stop running than it is to run? Do you know it's easier for you to quit and versus you to say, I'm gonna keep on going? There's a lot of people that quit. I'm not one of them. I'm not a quitter. I am not a quitter. I am going, I've been using some new lotion, and oh my God, this stuff smells so good. Oh, it smells so good. I just love it. I love it. Whew, girl, you smelling good. I know you got to have a personality with life. You got to have a personality with life. Don't let life get the best of you. Don't even let the rest of your life get the rest of you. You got to live your best life when? Now. Keep going. Keep going. You have so much into you. Keep going. Do you believe that it's going to work out? Do you believe that you're going to do it? Do you believe? I'm super excited. I've already booked my first engagement for 2020. I've already booked my first engagement for 2020. I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited about it, and I'm just trusting and believing that God is always gonna make a way. God is always gonna make a way. We can shut ourselves out of stuff and say, well, I can't do it and it's not for me. Baby, it is for me. You always told me quitting is not an option. No, it's not an option, Shanti. I don't care. We got to get creative. We gotta work our faith. But quitting is not an option. We can't quit. We can't just give up and say we don't have it, and we just figure that I'm tired and I just can't do it. No, that's not an option. That is not an option. Not starting it is not an option. Not finishing is not an option. We can't quit. We too legit to quit. We are too legit to quit. We have been through so much. We have been through too much to quit, Nikita. You've been through too much. You can't turn around now. You come too far to talk about you gonna turn around. No. We can't do it. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It's never an option. It ain't even in the drop down box. Come on now. It ain't even in the drop down list. You don't even have that option to pick. You're going to have to either do an alternative. You're going to have to do a modification. But quitting is never an option. It is never an option. You don't have an option to quit. You don't even have a choice to quit. You don't even have an option. You can't do it. No, you can't do it. We too legit to quit. We have so much to do that we can't quit. It's not an option. Women, you can't quit. Men, you can't quit. You cannot quit. I'm excited because there is so much to be done. There is so much to be done. There is so much to be done. And I'm so grateful for an opportunity. I'm grateful for the assignment that I have been given to help get it done. I'm grateful. I am grateful. And so I am just looking forward to 2020. I'm looking forward to the close of 2019 because there is so much to be done and so much to offer. Good morning, Camelia. Thank you so much for joining. But quitting is not an option. Look, y'all, you're looking at a woman that on that job, that same job I was just telling you about. Look, on that job, I was supposed to be promoted. Oh, I hear you. Thank you so much, Camelia. I thank you so much listening on the run. Thank you so much. I was supposed to be promoted, and instead of being promoted, I was fired. That could have hurt my heart, my feelings, my finances, and everything. But God blessed me. Because, see, I trusted God. I knew I hadn't done anything. I knew I hadn't done anything, and so I didn't get weary. I didn't faint. I just kept going. I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. Good morning, Fina. Thank you so much for joining. And God blessed me to be on a job that I'm still on now. The job that I was discharged from, I had been there. It would have been almost 5 years. It would have been almost 5 years. And the job that I'm on now, it's been almost 13 years. And I've been on a job that has been shut down for 14 months. Been on a job that I've been on for 14 months. And then I am making 66% more than I was making on a job, and I was working a lot of overtime, and I don't work no overtime. I was working on Saturdays and Sundays, and I was having to go to work sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning. And when they got tired of us getting so much overtime, they had me coming in at 12 o'clock noon because you knew something that didn't nobody else know. Come on now, somebody. It was crazy because they used me in so many different capacities. I was one of their auditors that did all the audits. I was a revenue auditor, and I was one that did training in the department. And when they launched a new program, it was me and one other person that did the training to train everybody else. They had me doing all type of stuff because I knew more. Good morning, Elder Anderson. Thank you so much for joining. I said, God, like you get punished for knowing more, because by you knew more, they were studying, fluctuating you from this place to another one. But look, I didn't even take that to be a bad thing. You got to say good thing, bad thing. You got to say good thing, bad thing. It could be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. A layoff can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. A divorce, it can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. The loss of a loved one, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. A loss of a so-called friend, it can be a good thing or a bad thing. But you got to never label it as bad. And when you find yourself never labeling it as bad, you'll find yourself not suffering. Oh, come on now, somebody. Y'all not going to talk to me. I'm telling you techniques that I use. I used to be a gambler. Let me tell you something. Listen. I used to be a gambler. Years ago, it's been several years ago, I used to love going to the casino. I felt like I was minding my own business. But when I gambled, I never was a pitiful gambler. You had some people that gamble and they figure like, I could have did that with my money. I could have paid my bills. I should have did this and I could have did this. I never was that type of person. I never looked at it as a bad thing, and it wasn't good because I was losing money, but I used to think that I never had that money. So I never was able to put myself in a position of pity, because if I couldn't afford to lose it, I shouldn't have never been over there, right? You don't take your bill. I didn't take bill money. I wasn't taking light bill money and gas bill money and phone bill money and clothes money for the kids. I wasn't taking that. You could never thought of looking at a painful life change that way. I'm telling you, Camelia, I have a process that I go through. It's like 5 processes, and one of the processes is good thing, bad thing. Good thing, bad thing. And you can look hindsight. Look at anything that has ever happened to you where you, in the end, you saw the good that came out of it. Good thing, bad thing. And it's a technique that, and I forgot what his name is. It's a technique that he used. It's not something that I came up with, but it's a technique that I use. And then I mean, you gotta think about it. And then there is it's a total of 5 techniques, and you know, it's been a blessing to me. It's been a blessing to me. Good morning, Judith. Thank you so much for joining. But when you think about, look at just think about it. Y'all, let's do this exercise. I got to get ready to go. But think about a bad situation where, I mean, it could just, we're going to talk about, and this is not to be, good morning, Bobby. Thank you so much for joining. You can look at it, and this is for men and women, because it's not biased and we're not one-sided. But think about somebody that you was with in your past, that you thought that you was going to be with for the rest of your life. And then after you got with them, or after you separated with them, you found out that she was a whore. You found out that he was a liar and a cheater, or he was a woman beater, that she was a manipulator. She thought she was slick. She was a liar. And you thought, oh my God. Now you thought that they was the best thing since sliced bread. But for you all, that after that relationship that was so bad that at first you didn't want to get rid of it, but some way you got out of it. You didn't want to get rid of her. You didn't want to get rid of him, but some kind of way you got out of that relationship. And now you're with your king, and now you're with your queen. Now you are with your wife. We ain't so now you're with that person that loved everything about you. You know, you had somebody that only wanted you for your money. You had somebody that only wanted you for your body. Now you got somebody like your curves. They like the fat on your stomach. They like the fat on your back. Come on now, somebody. Y'all not going to talk to me. You ain't got to be no size 10 for them to enjoy you and love you. You ain't got to be no skinny model. Come on now, somebody. And now you look back over that situation and say that, you know, it wasn't so bad that it didn't work with Johnny. It wasn't so bad that it didn't work with old Susie. Come on now, somebody. Good morning, Abby. Thank you so much for joining. Think about that job that you thought that you was going. Good morning, Joe. Thank you so much for joining. You thought that you was going to be on that job forever. And you was not going to go and look. I mean, even being single, Toshiba, it give you a peace of mind. If you know, come on now, somebody. Sometimes, I'm going to go back to that job, but sometimes we can be with somebody that robs us of our peace, and you better off by yourself. And anybody that ain't married, you're single. So I'm single. I'm single. I'm not married. I'm single. I talked to somebody, been talking for 7 years, but I'm not married. So therefore, I am single. Yeah. So you may look at the thing, you may look at your job. You know, you may have had to leave your job to take care of the loved one. And first you thought it was the worst thing. You may have to take care of your child, or your mother, or your grandmother, or a sibling. Some people do that. They will leave that job. It ain't no club for me, Toshiba, honey. Believe me, it's not a club, honey. You got to know that everybody don't have to. It's not a pity party. I'm single by choice. I'm not married by choice. So I don't put myself in a club. I'm not being funny, but I'm not in no single club. I ain't in no kind of club. I ain't in no cliques, groups, nothing. I'm by choice. Because one, when you have a lot that you want to do, when you get married, you got to be ready to do all married stuff. You got to be ready to be cooking, and you got to be ready to be compromising, and you got to be ready to, let some things go and not be able to do all the things that you want to do. So you got to be ready. I'm still, I still got some things to do, But anyway, think about that job that you thought that you was going to be on forever. And now you doing something else. Think about that place that you thought you was going to be in forever. And now you staying somewhere else. You're not in that house. I remember, I'm going to give you another practical example. I remember back here about 4 years ago, I was having issues with a car. I had a Toyota Camry. It was a brand new car. When I got it, it had 1 mile on it. And the car was just, one day I got out to crank the car up. It wouldn't even crank. It would not crank. And I was like, what in the whole crap? This car is new. And the car, at the time I had it for several months. But then, you know, like the door, your door stopper on my driver door, my door would just swing wide open. It had no stop to it. And I was getting frustrated with the car. I didn't even want it no more. I'm like, I need to trade this car in. I don't want it. You know, I was mad. I'm thinking I got a new car. So listen. Listen. So I had started considering trading the car in. And you know, I hadn't had it that long. And they was like, you owe too much money on this car. You know, you gonna be upside down. So I was like stuck with it. I had to keep paying that note and keep going with it. Now, this gonna sound crazy to some people, but you know, my daughter ended up wrecking the car. You know, now did I want my car wrecked? No. My daughter was supposed to be going to Walmart and she was supposed to be making a right turn. She made, and she had just newly started. She had just got a license and had a license about 2 months, maybe 2.5 to 3 months. She decided that she was going to the beauty store instead of going to Walmart first, or going to Walmart only. So when she pulled out, she thought she had enough room to pull out. She pulled out from a stop sign. She made it all the way out, but got to the back bumper, and a person had came through the stop sign. And when they hit my daughter, I guess she got, I don't know if she panicked or whatever, because I wasn't in the car. She hit the gas and she ran my car into between 2 trees. She called me hollering, and she was like literally right down the street from the house. And she called me hollering and screaming in the phone that somebody had hit, and I asked her, was the car bad? And she like, well, it's messed up a little bit. So I ran from my house to the scene. And all I can say was, oh my God. But the first thing that I had to think about was my 2 children, because my son was in the front seat and my daughter was driving. So I had to make sure that they was okay. And so I called my pastor. And he came, and I was like, this girl done tore up my car. And so I was like, you know, and I left that alone. And so I had to take him to the emergency room. Listen. I had to take him to the emergency room. And so she cried, and she said, well, you can keep my allowance until I pay for it. I said, look, I don't even have tears to cry. I had, at the time, it was like $30,000 that I owed on the car. But after I was able to think about it, and when they evaluated the car, they said that it was totaled out. I had insurance, but she wasn't on my insurance, because she had just started driving, and she really wasn't driving. She had just really got a license. But you know what? I took that bad situation, because that was bad. That was bad because she had just totaled out a $30,000 bill. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck with this bill. But then I thought about it. In the end, after my insurance paid and I had Gap and they paid the rest off and I didn't have that debt anymore, I was like, now I am relieved from this car that I didn't want. Now, did I want the wreck? No. Did I want all that to go on? No. Did I want that on my record? No. But I turned a bad situation into something good. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. So don't get it twisted. Don't take it and run with it. It's nothing more, but I took a bad situation and looked at what good could have come out of that. And that was the good. Take a bad situation that you have and find the good in it. Don't name it bad, but look for the good. That's all I'm trying to say. Take the bad that you have and look for the good. And never name a bad situation. Never name a situation bad or good. Work with what you got and it'll turn around in your favor. That's all I'm saying. If you believe that there is something good out of what has happened, and whether it's somebody that walked out, somebody that quit, somebody that left you, somebody that is no longer with you, a loved one, a job, a business partner, a friend, find the good out of it. That's how I am able to live, you know, with the loss of my grandmother. You know, I think about the memories of the good things that we had. I don't think about her not being here. I think about the lessons that she taught. I think about the words that she spoke. I think about the prayers that she prayed. So you can even take the death of a loved one. You can even take that. Now this is going to sound bad for somebody. You can even take the molestation. If you end up with a baby, a lot of people say, well, I don't, sometimes you may have been blessed with a gift out of a bad situation. They may have raped you and you got pregnant. And you would think, why did God let that happen? Why did God allow me to get pregnant by my rapist? But remember, God is always strategic. God always have a way and a reason for doing what he do. So it's not that you like being raped. It's not that you wanted to be raped. It's not that that was a good thing, but you can take the good out of what was supposed to be bad. Take the good out of what was supposed to be bad. And you can't be biased with it. You can't be biased with it. It can't be just things that you want to. Well, I can do that with a friend, but I can't do that with the rapist. Well, I can do that with the friend, but I can't do that with the husband or with the ex-wife. And you can do it with any situation that you believe that it can be done with. Any situation. Take the bad. I got a truck driving job, but they wanted me to go to Utah for training and be on the road for 6 months. And I asked them, can my daughter come with me? And they said after 6 months, my daughter is handicapped. I can't leave her. Amen. I'm singer. Yeah, coach. Amen. 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 Take the bad. Take that thing that was meant to be bad and find the good in it. So if you believe that you can, nothing can stop you. Open up your mind and explore opportunities. It's time for us to gear up for 2020, but it is not time for us to leave the next 27 days in 2019 behind. God bless you. Empowering 8, remember we have our call on tomorrow. My Empowering 8 sisters, y'all are in the house. We have our call on tomorrow. Don't let nothing stop you from dialing in that call. I don't care what it is. Don't let nothing stop you from getting in on the call. Nothing. And what does nothing exclude? Absolutely nothing. Make your way to the line. God bless you, and I'll talk to you all later. Have a blessed day.